water moccasins, so they're good for the environment. Don't want to kill. And then we have another breed of snake called the banded water snake. They've got more pronounced bands, rings around them, and a little bit more colorful around water snakes, but they frequently get mistaken for water moccasins and killed as well. They're non-venomous. Water moccasins and rattlesnake, you hear me using the term venomous and non-venomous. A lot of people call a rattlesnake poisonous. Well, they're not actually poisonous. They are, however, venomous, which means they strike their prey and inject them with a toxin. In the cases of the water moccasins and the rattlesnakes, which are part of the viper family, it's called a hemotoxin. Goes into the bloodstream and creates internal bleeding at the cellular level, and their prey can actually bleed to death internally. We have another breed of snake here in Florida called the coral snake. They have what's called a neurotoxin, much more lethal and deadly than the hemotoxin. This is pretty cool. Take a look at this tree right here on the left-hand side of the boat. Look at that reflection of the water.
It's amazing the whole way.
See how much bigger that tree is than all the other trees throughout the woods? Let me tell you why. It's because that tree right there is older than all the other trees.
Great reason.
Makes sense, don't it? Hey, they don't call me Captain Obvious for nothing, y'all. No, it is. That tree is actually over 300 years old. The rest of these trees are only about 100 years old. These woods were all lumbered back in the 17 and 1800s, clear cut. Now bear in mind, back in those days, they did not have chainsaws and power equipment like what we have today. These woods were clear cut by hand. Like you on one side of the saw, me on the other side of the saw type of deal. It took them a couple of 100 years to clear cut through all these woods. Just getting through the woods was tough enough. It's so swampy and snakes, gators, mosquitoes, all kinds of critters back in here. And then did y'all notice the long dock that we passed back there where it's a manatee zone starts here? That is the location where the old trading post used to reside, right here along the William Barton Trail, which is that bridge that we went under, now known as State Road 13. But the primary commodity that was traded at that trading post was lumber. Cypress lumber's always been the most valuable, but we also have oak, we got holly, we got maple, we got a variety of lumber. They were all cut down, cleaned up back here at this sawmill, floated down the creek to that trading post where they were sold and bartered and traded. Later in life, I don't know if y'all noticed, but one of these docks that we passed, by the way, those two docks that we passed and this structure that we just were back here, those are the only three structures that are permitted to be on this creek. This creek is now being left in its natural state. It won't, no new construction.
Those people must have been here a long time ago, whoever.
Yeah, they were grandfathered in. Yeah, they are correct.
How do you, I mean, some of those.
I'm going to show y'all something cool here. This is pretty cool. Now, we were talking earlier about the, what people call lily pads. And I said, no, those aren't lily pads. Those are called spatter docks. Now, here's a different breed of plant in the area. And these are non-native to this area. This is called, y'all may have heard of water hyacinth. Okay, this is water hyacinth right here. It looks like it's dirty, but it's really not. But they have a floating root system. Wow. These are non-native to this area. These are from South America, and this is a cool little piece of history. The way that the hyacinth entered into North America was in a little town about 20 miles south of here called Palatka, Florida. There was a lady that had a riverfront estate, and she went to this expo one year, which is now known as the World's Fair. And she saw this beautiful, these have a beautiful purple bloom on them. She saw this beautiful purple blooming plant called hyacinth on display. She took back a little patch, not much bigger than this. They describe it to be about the size of a basketball. She took it home with her and planted it, about like that right there. We just planted that one. And she was right. They were beautiful until just a few short years later, they had the whole St. Johns River.
It took over?
Yeah. That plant right there will grow to be, see, they start off small like these. That one here in a week or two will be like this.
So do you typically get rid of, I mean, like...
I don't. The Army Corps of Engineers does. They get paid too. I think they're beautiful. But as long as we keep them down. Now, if they start taking over a waterway, we have to, they come out and spray for them. But they're excellent habitats. Now they're all over the country. Believe it, up in y'all's neck of the woods, you might have water hyacinth. They hitch rides on trailers, boat trailers, and they take over a whole lake. It's called the kudzu of the sea.